right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is. And right here, we are joined by one half of an amazing, super talented pop punk duo. That's right, we got Michael of Internet Friends right here, live on the radio station airwaves. Michael, how are you doing tonight?
I'm feeling good. Feeling good. I'm sitting down. I'm having a nice liquid death. You know, my favorite, and chatting with you. So it's a good night. You know what I mean?
Hey man, honestly, Liquid Death's such an amazing drink. I actually had my very first Liquid Death actually at Jackalope, a skateboarding festival in Montreal, man. Nothing quenches your thirst like a Liquid Death, man. I feel like that right there, this clip could totally be used as just promotion for that company.
Yeah, for sure.
But I know you're a busy guy, Michael, so I'm not going to take you away from your evening too long. But I got to dive into this, man, because obviously you guys are such an amazing pop punk duo. Some people might think you guys live in the same city, but that's not the case. You're out there in the United States, and Rossi, he actually lives way out there on the other end of the globe in Australia. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind Internet Friends, and of course, how did you guys first meet, and of course, decide to form this international pop punk duo?
Yeah, so it's kind of a crazy story. And Ross actually had been working on the band for years prior to even hitting me up. He'd been working more on the business side of music, running a record label, doing that whole thing. And he went to go renew his working visa back home. He's actually from the UK, but he was working in the US to do the label stuff. He went back to go renew his visa, and that was like right in March 2020. So COVID hits, he gets stuck in the UK, and he ends up getting stuck there for like a year. And he like ended up having to stay with his dad, and like he had nothing to do at all for the whole time except sit there and write songs. He found a guitar in his like cupboard somewhere and just sat down and started writing songs. And you know, as he tells it, the first one he wrote was like, he was like, this is okay, like, you know, I haven't done this in a while. We'll pick it up tomorrow. And then as the days went on, it just got better and better. And he, within those moments, decided like, man, I kind of want to give this a shot. I want to do the band thing. I didn't have a chance to really do this the way I wanted to. And he kind of decided like, I think I'm going to make an exit from, you know, working the label side of stuff. So he spent a good amount of time just writing a ton of songs, and we actually met because of TikTok. So he was trying to find a singer for these songs. He was just scrolling the internet, trying to find the right guy. And at that time, I was posting clips of me singing on TikTok and like trying to build a following over there. So yeah, one day I just ended up on his For You page, and he was like, I think this is the guy. I think this is the guy that I want. And he reached out to me on Instagram. And I actually have a background in dance music where he came from. So I was familiar with like the stuff he was doing before we even knew each other. So I kind of had an idea of who he was. But yeah, when he reached out to me, I was like, I don't know what this could be about. It could be, you know, a number of things. But he was like, I have this project and I have a ton of songs. I want you to be the singer. Like, if you are interested, I'll fly to Austin within the next week and we can try to do an EP, see how we vibe, and do that whole thing. So he hopped on a plane about a week after I said yes. And yeah, he stayed in this room that I'm in right now for about a week. We did the whole first EP. We did a whole bunch of stuff, and we just like got to hang out and really get to know each other. And that week was like kind of magic. It was magical. Like we vibed. Everything was really good. And from there we decided, yeah, Internet Friends is a go.
I gotta say that's an amazing story, man. You know, especially him flying down to Austin, taking that big chance as well. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
he heard your voice, man, right then and there. You like I told you before we went into this interview, man. You guys literally created the pop punk duo that 2024 needs. Like when I heard Warning Signs, that's a song I heard. I instantly was like, I fell in love with your guys' music. I'm like, man, this shit brings me back to like when I wasn't too old to skateboard, back when, like, you know, Warped Tour, right back to those days, man.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
you guys have something so amazing here, and I definitely could tell Rossi saw that missing link in Internet Friends, man, once he saw that TikTok reel. So I don't blame him for flying all the way down to Austin to snag you, because anybody else in Austin would have did it if they would have heard that.
Yeah, we both took a huge chance, and I think it really paid off. And now we're here a couple years later, like just rolling through it, man.
And also, May 5th of 2023, you guys actually released a 408 remix of the song We Don't Get High Like We Used To, featuring Tired Violence, Julian Day, and a bunch of others. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this remix. And of
Yeah.
course, what was it like just working alongside those other amazing artists for this particular track?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We did 408 had an open verse challenge for the song, and we hopped on it, and it did pretty well on TikTok. It seemed like it was pretty well received. So Ross and I just had this cool idea of like maybe we could like just do a whole track, like re-record it, do it, our own way with our own like writing and everything. And we found a couple of other people that did open verses for it. Tired Violence and Julian Day and Julian Shreds, and we just got some friends on. We hit him up over the internet. We were like, you guys want to like do a collab and like work on this thing with us? We're gonna post it on our YouTube channel, and that's kind of how that happened. But yeah, we did the open verse. Ross finished an instrumental. He did everything. He talked to all the people, and we just made it happen. And it ended up doing pretty well on YouTube, which is really cool. Yeah.
I gotta say, I think I'm one of the only DJs. Well, I can't speak for everyone, but I still surf SoundCloud every now and then because you will find some amazing punk rock gems on SoundCloud, man. I know SoundCloud is slowly out the door nowadays, but there is still some artists that really do drop some stuff, and that's where I heard that 408 remix. I didn't even hear that by you guys until
really
I checked out your SoundCloud, and I was like, that's cool.
That's awesome. I forgot we actually put it up on SoundCloud, but yeah, it's totally there. I just like think about the YouTube video when I think about that, but finding us on SoundCloud, that is not something I would have ever guessed. That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will admit, like that song, I didn't even know you guys had that. It was I discovered you guys through warning signs through Instagram algorithm, but that 408 track, I was just cruising through SoundCloud after I booked you guys for the interview, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, that's definitely a gem I got to bring up.
That was definitely one of those things where, like, we put that out, like, pretty soon after we recorded the EP. So we had a long time before, like, we were posting content back then, too. So we had a long time to go until we were, like, ready to post songs. So we were like, man, we should just, like, have something that's, like, we can just throw on SoundCloud or YouTube or whatever, just so people can kind of get a sense of, like, what we're about. And then, we didn't actually drop the songs that we did for that EP until, like, March of this year. So yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes I forget that we did that remix.
But you guys are like super busy too, because your guys' social media like campaigns are just absolutely through the roof and amazing. Like I've seen how much you guys have just grown even more and more each week, man. So I don't blame you for forgetting about the 408 remix, because you guys are just going absolutely hard on that promo.
Yeah, man, we are nonstop pushing stuff. It's pretty crazy when you think about like how much content we've like put together and put out, and all the stuff that's like gonna come out after this EP cycle. We're like planning ahead into next year already. So yeah, man, we are busy to say the least, but I'm blessed to be so busy. You know what I mean?
And also, people that come across you might actually think that you guys have like a major record deal or whatnot, but you guys are absolutely independent, so it just shows your guys' level of like social media growth and like everything, man. Because I'm absolutely amazed, because when I first discovered you guys, I was like, man, I gotta book these guys for an interview. I immediately started looking for your publicist, and then I realized very quickly you're independent, and I was like, wait, that's social media promo game, and you're independent? Dude, like I can only imagine. Like that's why I said this. I can only imagine where FReNDz is going to be in 5 years with that promo game. Dude, easily headlining like festivals and concerts. I can see it, man. You guys are going to blow up.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, hopefully it all pays off. It feels like it's paying off as as the songs are coming out and everything. It's like really cool to see the growth and just where everything's come since we started. Like it's been a really crazy time so far. So, and we've only technically been a band with music out for like a couple months now. So yeah, it's really inspiring for sure.
And also as well, right now, part of your, speaking of promo and social media, right now you guys currently have a contest and competition going on where ultimately, in the end, one person receives a guitar. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this contest, and of course, how can they apply and actually be a part of it?
Yeah, so we are doing a contest to give away. It's the acoustic guitar we use in all of our acoustic music videos and songs, which that EP actually comes out this Friday. We just announced that today. So acoustic EP drops. It's called It's a Secret Stripped Down. It's going to be this Friday on the 12th. But yeah, we're doing a contest to give that guitar away. All you have to do is pre-save our music. We're working with this company called Noiselash, and they let us we have this link where if you sign up, it pre-saves all of our releases moving forward. So it really helps us out. And then one lucky person that saves our tracks gets the guitar, and we're going to send it wherever. So yeah, there's definitely still time to join that. We're still letting all of our followers know that that's a contest that's taking place. But yeah, the details for that are up on our Instagram and our bio.
And also, March 8th, 2024, you guys actually dropped your debut single off the your most recently dropped EP. The song's titled Warning Signs. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about the song itself, and of course, what is the inspiration behind this amazing song?
Yeah, so funny enough, so the way Internet FReNDz operates is we like to say we're kind of a sports team. Ross is like the business guy. He's like the guy that like comes up with like ideas for music videos and advertisements and all that kind of stuff. Like that's his, his specialty. That includes writing songs. That includes like all that stuff. And I'm here to like manage the social media, to be the voice for the band. Just kind of like we both handle our own lane. So with that being said, Ross actually wrote the song. And it's funny because half the time, like almost every time Ross writes something, I'll be like sleeping and I'll wake up and he's like, oh, I have a new song. And I'm like, oh, great, cool. And then the next day I'll wake up, oh, I have another song. I'm like, wow, this dude's a machine. It's like absolutely nuts. But yeah, the way he says it is like, it seems to be like subconsciously about like substance abuse or like some kind of like going through like, being addicted to alcohol or drugs and like kind of going through the motions with that. But yeah, it's like kind of I always say it's almost like a sad party banger because it sounds like super uplifting. But when you read the lyrics, it's like, oh, it's almost like a cry for help. Like it's pretty like intense in that way. So yeah, shout out to Ross.
It's kind of like that old 90s song, Semi-Charmed Kind of Life by Third Eye Blind.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's alternative. This is pop punk. But like how you said, it's like a party banger, but it's a cry for help at the same time. Because if you listen to Semi-Charmed Kind of Life and just vibe to the song, you're like, man, I could totally party this. But then you actually sit back and listen to the lyrics, and you're like, wait a minute, that's about like crystal meth. Like, so definitely kind of like that.
It definitely has that feeling because it's such an uplifting vibe. But then you sit down and you look at everything and you're like, oh, like, do I need to see if this dude's okay? Like, this is, it definitely came from some kind of place like that. So yeah, it's definitely got like a deeper meaning when you like look into it, for sure.
And then also June 12th of 2024, your song actually got played for the first time on Short and Fast and Loud on Triple J. I was wondering, how did you guys ultimately land on that radio show? And of course, what was it like just hearing your music and of course your voice as well for the first time on such a world-renowned radio broadcast?
It was really cool, man. Yeah, we so Obvious got played on that show, and we got an email, like a DM, like asking Ross to give like a kind of a quick story time about the track. Yeah, we've actually had a couple of songs played on Triple J, both Triple J and Triple J Unearthed, and it's like so validating to like, for me, it's like all this is happening when I'm sleeping, and I wake up and Ross is like, dude, our song just got played on the radio, like, and all this stuff, and it's like, it's such a weird thing being on the other side of the planet and hearing that. And I'm like half asleep and I'm like, oh, this is so sick. I'm like, I gotta wait till like my girlfriend wakes up so I can tell her and like all this stuff. But it's funny because yeah, I wait till he wakes up and then we got to go back and forth, and we're really stoked that like it's being well received in that way for sure. And like, yeah, just having my voice on Australian radio is kind of nuts. Like something that I never thought would happen,
And I have to ask, how is the Australian fans actually perceiving as well? Because Triple J is a very world-renowned program. Yeah. I'm out here in Canada, and I've heard many things about that program. So I have to ask, like, obviously, if I'm here in Canada and I'm hearing it, people out there in Australia are absolutely eating it up. So I have to ask, how is the Australian fans actually like perceiving Internet FReNDz?
I think it's been really, really well received over there. Yeah, it's we can see actually like reviews of the track on Triple J, like if we go to the website, and it's been like overwhelmingly positive. It's been really cool, and yeah, it's just really wild how like fast music can spread these days with like the internet and like TikTok and like all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's been really great over there, and also like kind of close to the same ish area, like Indonesia is. It's been really picking up in Indonesia too, which is like really crazy.
And also, June 26th of 2024, you guys actually released your four-track debut EP titled "It's a Secret." I was wondering if you could actually just tell us a bit more about the story behind the actual EP itself. And of course, did you guys have any idea that it was going to blow up to the magnitude that it has? Because this EP is absolutely going crazy.
Yeah, it feels great. I think so yeah, like back to what I said, we actually recorded all the demos in this bedroom when Ross came the first time back in 2022. So he had the songs. It's a crazy story because like when he came to me originally, he was sitting on like 60 songs or something insane. Like, and I was like almost overwhelmed. I was like, this dude has so many songs he's just sitting on. And he picked four and was like, this would make a really good EP. And in his opinion, the songs were like B-sides. Like they weren't like, there wasn't like a place to put them on an album or anything like that. And it's so crazy because once we put vocals over the top of them, we were all like, dang, this actually feels like really, really good. Like it's crazy how like I was like, I didn't expect, like I expected it to be real, like to feel really good, but you never know until you hear the voice on it how it's actually going to be. And then once we took it to Matt Squires to do the actual recordings, like it took it up another level. And then we're sitting in the car, like listening to it immediately afterwards. And we're like, what have we done? Like these songs feel like huge, you know what I mean? And it was like at that point where I was like, man, I'm kind of nervous on how we're going to like follow this up. Cause it just feels like everything just felt really big. So yeah, I mean, it's been a really incredible, like, ride. And we actually came up with the name of the EP actually came from a TikTok, some random TikTok that I made a long time ago, where I was like dressed in all black and I had this like background behind me and I was like kind of like making this joke about how we were like a international pop punk duo and no one knew about us because the band was a secret. And at the end of the video, I like turned to the camera and I just like whispered, "It's a secret." And Ross pulled the EP title from that. So that's how we got the title, "It's a Secret." And we've been rolling with that ever since. So yeah, it's I'm so proud of this EP. It's crazy. It feels really good to have it out there finally.
And the fact that Rossi actually thought that these four songs are B-sides, I can only imagine the magnitude of absolute, like, killer songs he has in that stack, man. Like,
Yeah.
if he thinks these are B-sides, I can only imagine what he actually has in the vault.
Yeah, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of songs in the vault. There's like albums worth of music. There's a lot of stuff. And we actually just finished our second EP a couple of months back. So we're like ready to go. Like we have music for the foreseeable future just ready. And I think that the second EP is definitely better than the first one. I feel really good about it.
And also, just with what before we move off the topic of "It's a Secret," I have to ask: is there where can we actually buy ourselves or stream ourselves a copy of this amazing four-track EP?
Yeah, so the EP's on every major streaming platform: Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, anywhere you get your music, it should be up there. And then also we have this website that's on our Instagram at Internet Friends. Friends spelled FRENDZ. But we have a site where if you cover the shipping for the CD, it's like a pay what you want kind of thing. If you wanted to pay $0 for the CD, you just got to cover the shipping and you can get a physical copy sent to you. If you would like to pay more, we're not going to fight you for it. We get the extra, the added bonus. Like if you want to pay $10 for a CD plus shipping, like we get that and we appreciate that. But if you don't and you just want the CD, you just got to pay for the shipping and we'll send it to you. So yeah, that's how you get it.
I gotta say, I saw the ad on that, but I didn't know if that was actually you guys because I didn't see it through your guys' Instagram. I saw it with the Facebook algorithm. I was
Yeah.
totally gonna jump on it, but then I'm like, wait, I should maybe see if this is legit, because when it comes to Facebook ads, you know what I mean. Now I know it's real, but I do know
Yeah.
when it comes to Facebook ads, sometimes you're like, ooh, that's a good deal, but it's too good of a deal. You know,
Yeah.
if it's too good to be true, you got to get that clarification.
Yeah. It's it's definitely a thing. People are receiving the CDs, and we've been getting pictures of like the artwork and all the cover and stuff, and everybody's really excited. It's really cool. And then also like on top of that, like we also have merch through that site as well. So there's like shirts and hoodies and hats and like all that stuff that are like add-ons to the CD. So yeah, we're just that's kind of where we're at with those.
And also this Friday, you mentioned briefly earlier on in the interview that a brand new acoustic EP is going to be dropping titled "Stripped Down." I was wondering if you can just tell us a bit more about this coming Friday's release, and of course, what can the listeners and internet friends actually expect from this up and coming record?
Yeah, so it's actually all the songs from It's a Secret, but they're just either acoustic or piano. We did 2 acoustic songs, so Warning Signs and So Obvious were done acoustic, and then Forever and Achilles Heel were done on a piano, and it's just like a more intimate version of the songs. So It's a Secret stripped down. Yeah, it comes out this Friday. The songs are actually all up on YouTube already. We just put the music videos only out for the time being while we were promoting the actual EP. And yeah, as of Friday, they're going to be available on all the streaming platforms. We've had a lot of people asking about that, so it's exciting to finally like get it up. Yeah, on streaming. It's cool. I like acoustic stuff a whole lot. I've always like wanted to do a lot more of that stuff. So for me, it's like really fulfilling. And like the songs almost have like a different. They just feel completely different. You know, it's really cool to hear them like in a different rendition. So really excited about that. It's a Secret, stripped down, July 12th.
And I have to ask, what is next for Internet Friends? Because obviously, I know we just spoke about the acoustic EP. Obviously, you guys have more music, like another entire EP that's already ready to go. What is next for Internet Friends? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's broadcast? Anything else you do still want to touch on, talk about, or promote?
Yeah. So we got the acoustic stuff coming out. Between now and the next EP, we've got a couple of cover songs that we're going to drop. So that's exciting. That's going to be really soon, actually. So keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, once those cover songs are out, we're starting the next cycle and we're doing the exact same thing all over again. So EP, stripped down versions, 2 covers. So yeah, we're just basically like going until we can't. You know what I mean? Just recording new music until we're like, oh my God, we ran out of money because we're doing this all on our own. So yeah, we're just we're keeping the ball rolling. We're gonna keep pushing content, and we're just gonna keep getting songs out as long as we possibly can.
Hey, well, I gotta say, as an Internet Friends fan myself, I cannot complain about that. But hopefully the money doesn't run out, because I can say, for instance, this is exactly what punk rock needs, man, is artists like you, man. You guys are definitely keeping it real. Like I said before we went on the air, man, I am absolutely just amazed by the sounds of your music. It definitely brings the old pop punk rockers, back to their youth a little bit. It makes me feel young again, man. It makes me forget about that sciatica.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely the throwback vibes, dude. It's like you just woke up and you're about to go to Warped Tour and you're with your friends and you're driving on the way there and you're just blasting this with the windows rolled down. Like that's the vibe. But we also want to keep it like current and like we want it to feel like it came out, obviously within the 2020s, but it has that reminiscent feel and that we all kind of miss. You know what I mean? So yeah, it definitely feels good to like be in a band, like doing that kind of sound. I never saw myself here, so it's really cool.
And before we part ways here tonight, Michael, obviously I know how to follow you guys on social media, and I do know you mentioned your Instagram as well, but I was wondering, for the individuals, now they can get a chance to pull out their phones if they're not already doing so. And of course, follow not only yourself, but Rossi and Internet Friends across all social media platforms if they're not already doing so.
Yeah, so all the social handles, Instagram at Internet Friends, all one word. Internet is spelled the exact same way it should be, and then Friends is FRENDZ. It's gonna be the same for Instagram and TikTok. We've got Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it these days too. It's the same thing, but with an extra Z. And then you can follow me on Instagram. My name is @Michael. And then Ross, his username is @RossiBurr, BURR. And those are going to be our social platforms. So yeah, make sure to follow us up on there. We just launched our broadcast channel. We're having a lot of fun in there, getting to update everybody. And we definitely appreciate our community. It's called the Friend Zone. So yeah, shout out to the Friend Zone, and shout out to you guys for tuning in and watching this interview. Appreciate y'all.
So everyone that does join the friend zone, remember, automatically you're in that friend zone. There's no getting out of it.
You're in the
Once
friend
you get
zone.
there, that's it.
That's it, yeah.
But Michael, again, thank you so much for your time, man. It was such an honor speaking with you. Keep doing what you guys are doing. I gotta say it one more time. Definitely keep making it, because if you keep making it, we here at 99.9 Punk World Radio FM are going to keep spinning it, man. So thank you so much for your time. Shout out to Rossi as well out there in Australia. You guys keep doing it, man. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Have yourself a great night, man.
You too.